When I heard the intro, and then also like the way that the drums are in it, I can really feel the way that it moves. You know, it feels very stealthy, and then, you know, if you ever see a bird walking around and the way that they kind of keep their head still and then move it like that, that's sort of what the song sounds like to me. It sounds like, you know, a bird moving, except it's a bird with 4 wings and a long bony tail and teeth that lived 65 million years ago. Same thing. No, whatever.
Emmy Brady. She's a fellow dinosaur enthusiast.
I make art about birds, so naturally I started becoming very interested in bird evolution. Then he started writing an album about dinosaurs, so we would just hang out together, and he would work on songs and I would work on drawings and prints and stuff.
I reached out to her to create some art for Antiquasauria.
Lino cutting. It's basically a giant rubber stamp. So you have a piece of linoleum, and then you have a tool and you carve into it. And you're carving negative space, so you have the uncarved portions which stay raised, which are the parts that get ink, and then the divots do not. And that is relief printing. So it's basically a giant rubber stamp.
She spent about 4.5 hours carving out the linoleum, and then we spent another 5 or so hours making prints.
I just go in with a roller and roll ink over it by hand, and then put it on the bed of a press and put a piece of paper over it, and then crank this handle, and the whole thing just goes right through. It's like a giant rolling pin almost, except much bigger, and applies a considerable amount of pressure. I looked into where the Microraptor fossil was found, and then looked into the other critters that were living around that same time, the same area. Obviously you have the Microraptor. 2 big wings on the arms, and then the 2 wings on the legs.
Rather than using powered flight and flapping their wings like birds do, the theory is that they would crawl up the trees and use what is called a fugoid style of gliding and swoop from one tree to another and get their distance that way, chasing prey or getting away from something hunting them. They ate insects, birds, lizards, small mammals, and fish, most likely.
Ian mentions them eating lizards, so I tried to find a really good example of that. There are also pterophyta, which are ferns, and then cycad fronds, and then a big cycad cone. A bit of a ginkgo.
The leaves you can see are basically unchanged from this time to the modern day ginkgo trees.
Those would be everywhere in that time period and in that area in China.
Included, we've got a dragonfly, got a mayfly, a little mammal, a lizard. This is ancient China.
I was really excited that he asked me to do this. I was really excited and really honored. Really enjoyed doing this. The album.
People